Hey guys, this is Rurouni K95 here. Once again, it's time for another video on anime home video companies as well. Last time we already took a look at I'm showcasing some titles I have from Media Blasters. This is something I haven't thought of doing one before, which is something that I should have done, which I haven't thought of until now. And that, my friends, we're going to be talking about AnimEigo. Yes, that home video company, which is basically funded by the owner of probably AnimEigo, which is Robert J. Woodhead, because he is the founder of AnimEigo. If you don't know what AnimEigo is basically a home video distributing company of anime where there have been licensing like so many of those titles under anime, and not only you have anime, there's also some samurai films under Japanese cinema. If you ever been into some Japanese samurai movies, like, which we'll get to those after I'm discussing about that as well. Because for the thing here about what AnimEigo has becoming a home video company for the fans out there of every home video company on every kind of its own as well. The good thing what makes about AnimEigo, how they were releasing every titles on anime when it was released on VHS and Laserdisc back in the 90s. Most of them are only dubbed in probably Japanese with English subtitles, because I think it's the original language for how every anime that is dubbed in Japanese, providing with some subtitles, which how it makes it good for a change as well. Unlike before there's streamlined pictures on there. But for the thing about AnimEigo is that this is coming from the depths, from ever since how they wanted another anime home video company for they're distributing anime on there. Well, most anime on DVDs have gotten English dubs, especially for what AnimEigo did, probably as well, which will come to the point to starters of what makes it so great as well. Yeah, I never knew that they had always wanted to explain about of what it makes AnimEigo very great as well, particularly because I'm going to be doing a video talking and discussing about what makes so good about AnimEigo, how they're releasing newer titles as well. And there's also, I have some titles from AnimEigo as well, even though we are discussing about of how what AnimEigo has released every anime titles on DVD when they're dubbed in Japanese on here, especially the ones as how they gotten particularly that came with liner notes, especially with the information on every anime as well. For like the movies on here, because you know what I'm talking about basically. Arcadia of My Youth. This is the 1982 anime film that is basically how it's the retelling version of the Space Pirate Captain Harlock series. If you've ever been into Legiverse as well. Yeah, they put Toei Video logo after the AnimEigo logo as well. Especially for how this has gotten to the thing of what makes it so good about AnimEigo is that AnimEigo is basically always still around as well. From how I understand how this basically makes the fact of how this made it so good for a change. And this how it has got to the thing as well, accordingly, especially for what has every anime fans would know about this as well. Because this is only dubbed in Japanese, this is the uncut version. It's in its original uncut and unedited version. Yeah, this was released on VHS and also on Laserdisc back in the days. Yeah, because they always come with these liner notes as well. Most of them come with liner notes, some don't as well. Well, that's how it is, particularly. Yeah, this has gotten to the point how this makes it so good for how AnimEigo had a lot to do. They put out these kinds of liner notes where they put in theme songs, how they put in for anime. Same goes with image songs, and every image songs they put in an anime movie of its kind, particularly of how they had a lot to do for, or what makes it so good about this as well. Yeah, it's gotten to a point is how they put in the little synopsis and about the anime, especially for the film like Arcadia of My Youth, is that they had to put the little synopsis as well, particularly how it was, how they use, particularly of how it's gotten to the point as well. As well, there's some anime ones that come with liner notes, especially in the OVAs. And you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Oh My Goddess OVA series. This is all completed, though, but Volume 2, however, does not have the liner notes, but the second volume, no, the first volume on there, it does have the liner notes, explaining about the goddesses, as well as romanizing Japanese as well, and they're explaining about the series name as well, because Oh My Goddess is also based on the manga by Kosuke Fujishima, who's worked on You're Under Arrest manga as well. Yeah, this has gone to a thing as how they put in these songs as well. Yeah, I didn't know that they did this as well. Yeah. This has got to the thing of how, if you ever, how this comes with the synopsis, where it has the eye-catching commentary on each episode, where it's divided into acts as well, of how every anime fan, if they ever read these liner notes as well, has gotten to the thing as well. Because I bet you, if they ever wanted to know what they know about the anime, especially with these liner notes, particularly as well. Most anime DVDs never came with liner notes, especially in the movies in general, but some of them came with on-screen maps and character bios, unlike every other anime, but that some of them have with original image gallery on every one of them, including some commentaries on here, and every one of those of its kind as well. Such as, let's say for example, where it shows character bios on here, the Dagger of Kamui, another one I have from AnimEigo as well. This is a classic samurai epic ninja action drama favorite. Yeah, this one basically how this articulates how this is basically how it's available on Right Stuff, and this is the only AnimEigo title, particularly from Right Stuff as well, of how this got into the starters, as well how you would expect for an anime like this one as well. Yeah, there's no liner notes as well. Yeah, this makes it so good about this as well. We'll discuss under in the same way how AnimEigo has got a lot to do when they're releasing some samurai films as well. So, most of some out-of-print anime series on here, most of these on here basically how what AnimEigo had a lot to do of how they released every series on DVD. Like, most of them came with liner notes on each volumes, and some of them don't. And you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the Urusei Yatsura series as well. Because, for the thing about Urusei Yatsura is that, even though I have ton of these on DVDs as well, because this has gone to the figuring out of how, because AnimEigo was basically how they released it, all 50 volumes of them, of this particular series like this. You know, it's a beloved series from Rumiko Takahashi, who is basically known for her work such as Meizani Koku, Rama One Half, and Inuyasha, many of her famous works particularly. Well, Mamoru Oshii directed half of the Urusei Yatsura series, but he only directed the first two movies, which we'll get to in just a moment. Yeah, particularly. But however, for episodes 107 to 195 were directed by Yamazaki Kazuo as well, because he only directed the second remaining half of the series of the Urusei Yatsura, after Mamoru Oshii has quit the production of the Urusei Yatsura series as well. Because this is what makes it great, basically, of how Urusei Yatsura has for a change. Every volumes of them is always divided into those like between first season and the second season and the third season of this particular series of the Urusei Yatsura. Especially if you have 50 volumes of those as well, particularly. And these are the Urusei Yatsura DVDs as what I own in my anime collection, basically. Because, especially if you're gonna, like, getting the rest of those can be a difficult time, basically, of how, if you ever wanted to explain about when it comes to, like, owning 50 DVDs in your anime collection as well. Yeah, Urusei Yatsura has only lasted, like, 50 volumes on DVD, including the bonus feature, which has the last disc, which I think it's available in the final volume of the Urusei Yatsura series. Most of these on here are available in those, like, paper art box sets of how it carries up to, like, every volumes of the Urusei Yatsura TV series as well. Of how this has gone to the point out of how this makes the anime very good as well, particularly because Urusei Yatsura is particularly one of my favorite anime series as well, because it's based on the manga, but from Rumiko Takahashi. I think I watched all of. I think it's been a while since I watched 49 episodes back in 2017, but I watched particularly episodes 50 to 195 during the pandemic as well. Yeah, Urusei Yatsura, classic series. The story's very well done and pretty good for this anime. I really enjoy it, basically, as well. And speaking of the Mamoru Oshii, Mamoru Oshii directed the only the first Urusei Yatsura movie was released by AnimEigo, except for the second one, and that is Urusei Yatsura Only You, which I think this is the first of the Urusei Yatsura movie series. Yeah, because I think this came out the same hour as the Urusei Yatsura TV series, in between, like, the second season of this particular series as well. And this is the only one VHS I have here. This also came with these liner notes, particularly as well, from what makes the series so good, particularly as well. This came with these liner notes, like a little thing as well, where they put in, like, these image songs, such as the Kaje Fumino Waltz, which I think it may be the image song, as well as it's known as the Shadow Tag Waltz. Yeah, I think this is called this translates the Shadow Tag Waltz. Hoshizora Cycling is translated as Cycling in the Starry Sky, performed by Virgin VS. Calls me cycler, Hoshizora Cycling, run away home. Yeah, that one. Particularly how this is how they use the song, how they were originally used from the Urusei Yatsura TV series, especially. Sorry if I read the lyrics. I wouldn't butcher or the lyrics basically. And there's also the newer songs that they were also used at the end of 57th episode of the Urusei Yatsura series, and that is the song I, You, and Love, performed by Izumi Kobayashi. I wouldn't narrate the lyrics on there. Sorry about the Hoshizora, I just read it quietly though, but I wouldn't narrate those because I think it may ruin it for it. Well, they can recognize it for everybody though, but you get the picture. Yeah, and Fumi Hirano did the song called Lum No Ballad. I think that's basically translated Lum's Ballad. I think that's the song basically, how they added in there. And this also has a little image about the ad for the other series called the Bubblegum Crisis OVA series on here. Yeah, every Laserdisc is like $65 each on these on there. If you own it, and it says if you order the entire set before November 15th, it is yours for only $220. Including the wraps for any Bubblegum Crisis tapes you own with your order, and we will give you an extra $10 per wrap off. Limit 8 wraps from all from different episodes on there. Yes, this is a 1992 AnimEigo VHS release on here. Yeah, it never has an English dub, but it's only dubbed in Japanese with English subtitles. Although the Urusei Yatsura movie, like Urusei Yatsura Only You, is what was on DVD. It did have an English dub from AnimEigo on here. Yeah, AnimEigo only released like all the last 5 of the remaining Urusei Yatsura movies on VHS, Laserdisc, and DVD, except for Urusei Yatsura Beautiful Dreamer, because Central Park Media and US Manga Corp released it, but they provided translations and subtitles from AnimEigo as well. And particularly of how they wanted to... What makes this so very interesting, though, as well, because that's how it's gotten to the thing of what AnimEigo makes it great as well. And for the thing here is that AnimEigo only has an English dub for the Urusei Yatsura TV series, but only 2 episodes were the only 2 episodes from the Urusei Yatsura anime TV series, only dubbed in English. Only 2 episodes when it was released under the VHS as Those Obnoxious Aliens. Well, that's just how it is, particularly. But the rest of the episodes are all dubbed in Japanese with English subtitles as well. As for the thing, however, is that AnimEigo released the Urusei Yatsura series on the Laserdisc set as well, especially how AnimEigo had a lot to do, basically. As well, because Lupin the Third movies, like Lupin the Third, the Fuma Conspiracy, and Lupin the Third, The Legend of the Gold Babylon, are the only 2 Lupin movies, which I think AnimEigo released it on the VHS and the Laserdisc days as well. Well, yes, that's how they particularly were as well. How AnimEigo had a lot to do for this particular way as well. And on top of this, AnimEigo also released the You're Under Arrest OVA series, as well as every other anime titles, like Bao and Battle Royale High School, and also the Kimagure Orange Road TV series, including the movie and the OVA as well. And not only that, not to mention, Otaku Uno Video is released on DVD and by AnimEigo. Same with Vampire Princess Miyu as well. And also 80 Police Files and Bubblegum Crash OVA, which I think this is a sequel to the Bubblegum Crisis series particularly as well. And for the thing here, what AnimEigo did, they also released Spirit Wonder, which is another anime title, also from AnimEigo. Same with, there's a lot of those you can find basically for what AnimEigo released it in the past as well. And for every adverts on there, for what you find on how these adverts appear in these like anime magazines, especially such as, for example, AnimEigo and Protoculture Addicts. Yeah, this is the thing basically of how what AnimEigo had a lot to do, particularly. Yeah, according to the 20th issue of Protoculture Addicts magazine, at the end of the page here, AnimEigo has been putting out every titles such as Genesis Survivor Gaiarth, Kimagure Orange Road, Bubblegum Crisis, and the Urusei Yatsura series as well. Yeah. Especially for what AnimEigo did back in the 90s as well. For every thing of its kind as well. Yeah. As how this includes every certain ones as well. And yeah, this explains about the Bubblegum Crisis in this magazine as well. Because every adverts from anime on Eigo has a lot to do basically. Yeah, they're releasing every titles on its kind of what you expect of what made AnimEigo very good as well when they're releasing these titles as well. And also, AnimEigo released Hurricane Life 2033, Tinsel City Rhapsody, Hurricane Life 2032 as well. And also Maddox 01, Metal Skin Panic, and Riding Bean as well, which is another anime from AnimEigo as well. And also the Super Deformed double feature as well, basically. And on top of this, yeah, because Urusei Yatsura had 5 of the OVA volumes on DVD, as well as 50 volumes on there, including 5 of the last remaining movies. Like, if you want to buy those on eBay, it's going to cost you like $1,000. It's going out of print, and it's going to cost you a fortune if you're going to get a lot of those for like $1,000 as well. And yeah, Super Dimension Fortress Macross only had like 9 volumes, and it's only dubbed in Japanese with English subtitles. That's also out of print, and it's very rare collector's items, and it's going to costing a fortune these days of how they did this as well. Well, this has come to out-of-print anime, especially the ones that were released from AnimEigo as well. And not only that, there's also out-of-print anime movies on DVD. For example, Urusei Yatsura Movie 5, The Final Chapter, that's the one that was when it was out of print on DVD, particularly. Especially if you're gonna look for it, basically, when you're gonna like complete your Urusei Yatsura collection as well, as from what I understand, basically why as well. And on top of this as well, not only AnimEigo releases numerous titles of anime, there's also some Japanese samurai movies, like the Shinsengumi movies, Shinobi no Mano movies, as well as Lady Snowblood, which is another one of those samurai movies as well as one of the Yojimbo movies, basically. If you ever look or want to research for every Japanese samurai movies under those cinema as well. If you ever love some samurai films, particularly for an anime, for what AnimEigo has released it as well. With how it's gotten to the point as how you would expect, particularly, especially for what Robert J. Woodhead, Robert J. Woodhead had a lot to do of how releasing every titles from AnimEigo on every kind of its one as well. And that's the thing about how every one of those titles, basically, of how this may come to this fresh of how AnimEigo wanted to do, particularly when it comes to putting out every titles of anime as well. Yeah, because this is a thing of how AnimEigo has been around since 1988, when they were releasing for numerous titles as well. Now, AnimEigo is releasing Bubblegum Crisis on Blu-ray as well. And now AnimEigo is now putting out another anime, which is Megazone 2-3 as well. Because I think it's going to be scheduled for its release on the 10th of May this year, particularly. Let's hope to find out, basically. Because I have a feeling, though, I bet you that the license to Megazone 2-3 from ADV Films is expired. So I'm thinking AnimEigo has acquired the rights to release, probably, I believe, Megazone 2-3. Yeah, Megazone 2-3 is now getting acquired the rights to AnimEigo as well. I mean, there's many anime you can find if there's so much you want to look for what AnimEigo is. We can only imagine if AnimEigo could find some more anime acquirization from out there for Blu-ray as well. We can only imagine as well, considering the fact how AnimEigo has released some samurai movies as well. So that's going to be it for my video on my anime home video companies, where I'm discussing about AnimEigo for today, you guys. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's what I'm going to say for this video. Even though this is the first time, I haven't thought of doing a video like this one as well, because I have already looked back on doing my video where I was talking about Media Blasters. This is the first time I'm going to be discussing about AnimEigo as well, particularly. And I also mentioned it because I had to go through some anime magazines where I was discussing it, where I mentioned such as the Protoculture Addicts magazine as well, where I can find something to research on any information of how every anime title is released by AnimEigo as well, particularly. Yeah, because especially for every anime fan who loves collecting anime and watching anime back in the 90s. Yeah, I think AnimEigo is still there in the hair, particularly, because I bet you, though, this has gotten to the thing of how anime fans remember AnimEigo, which I probably back in the 90s as well, because that's how you want to give it in the thing as well, of how AnimEigo's got to the thing of how they're releasing every title. Most of them are out of print, though. There's some other ones in print as well. But that's just how it is as well. Hope subscribe for content. My Anime Planet link in the description down below. If you want to check out my Anime Planet, the link will be in the description if you want to check out my Anime Planet, because I have a huge backlog of anime and manga on my Anime Planet as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Your thoughts about the home video company, AnimEigo. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Smack the like button if you enjoy this video. Be sure to click on the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel as a feel free to click on the subscribe button as a newcomer. Smack the notifications bell button. Be sure to get notified also as well for more latest updates that I have here. And keep it otaku for this video, because I have to do a discussion about AnimEigo when it comes to talking about anime home video companies. This is RuRoniK95 saying thank you for watching my video, and I'm glad you liked it. I hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Hope you have a great day. This is RuRoniK95 signing off, and thank you for watching my video, and I will see you soon for more videos.